Hi, this is Ed for Regal Guitar Straps, and today we're going to talk about the major scale. The major scale is the starting point and your reference point for all musicians. We begin with C major because if you look on the piano, it's all the white keys on the piano. If you start on C and go to C, you have a C major scale. On the guitar, it's a little tricky to see that. Okay, so in order to understand it, we need to understand a couple of terms first. Steps and intervals. Now, an interval is the distance between any two notes. Steps are how we measure that distance. Okay, so a half step is one fret or one piano key to the next. A whole step is two frets or two piano keys. And so if we understand the formula of the major scale, which is based on whole steps and half steps, two frets and one fret, then you can create a major scale based off of any note. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to build a one string major scale starting on the 5th string 3rd fret. So this is a C. Now the major scale formula is, if you remember the number 23, it's 2 whole steps and a half step, 3 whole steps and a half step. So 2 whole steps, a half step, 3 whole steps, and a half step. Now if I play that in time, you'll hear the major scale. It's easier to visualize it on one string. We are going to build it the way guitar players normally play it. But in order to get used to this, I encourage you to work that out and also try it on the 2nd string. We'll start on the 2nd string C note, 1st fret. So we go whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. Now I'll play that. And there's your C major scale. Next, you're going to want to learn how to play the C major scale in positions the way guitar players normally use them. Now I'm going to give you 5 patterns, each of them based on the cage system. If you don't understand the cage system, I do have an article, and there'll be a link in this article for that where it explains it a little bit more in detail. It's a little bit beyond the scope of what we're talking about, but you'll kind of get the idea just by following along. Our first C major scale shape, pattern 1, is based on the open position C chord. So if you know this shape, there's a scale right underneath it. And that's pattern 1. All right, so I encourage you to check out the blog article because there is a diagram there for you so you can work it out in time. The second pattern is based off of the A shape. So if you have the open A shape and you move it up here, underneath this shape lies pattern 2. Okay, so now if you notice, I am extending the scale to the notes beneath it and then coming back and ending on the root so that you can get used to hearing the sound and also see what notes are also available in that pattern. Pattern 3 is based off of the G shape. Okay, so you know the G shape. If we move the G shape up here, this is tricky. That's a C chord based on the G shape. And here as well, a C major pattern. Pattern 4 is based on the open E shape, and this is one of the most popular major scale patterns because it's based on the root 6. So here at the 8th fret I have the C major chord, and here we're going to go 2 octaves complete, so you can hear the C to C movement. And pattern 5 is based on the D shape. Okay, so that's up here. That's this little triad up here. And this is a tricky kind of fingering for it. We can start here on the 4th string. Okay, so I kind of go a little bit out of position for this one. This is great for the rock players who like the 3-note per string pattern. So I've extended into the E shape pattern here. Because if you do stay in position, it really only has that limited range. If you do extend it though, and it's great for that 3-note per string thing, like I said. Okay, so I encourage you to memorize those patterns, run them through some melodic sequences, and add that to your repertoire. It's a starting point for all guitar players. It's our reference point, so you need to know it, all right? I hope I've helped you with this lesson. I thank you for hanging with me, and I will see you next time.